egg. Scotch egg. Scotch egg. Scotch egg, 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 Scotch egg.
It's a hard-boiled egg in a sausage casing.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. I'm Jay Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Sport check. That's what he said, right?
No, Scotch egg.
No.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Echo.
Hey, ho! And over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is, here we are. I haven't thought about Scotch eggs since the UK version of The Office.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a long time since I've heard even Scotch eggs said.
Have you ever had a Scotch egg?
God, no.
What do you mean, God? You love eggs?
I love eggs, but not encased in sausage meat.
yeah.
Not like that, no.
It's a hard boily inside, is that right?
Yeah.
I've never eaten one either.
Yeah.
Me neither. What kind of casing are we talking?
Talking sausage, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but actual sausage,
Yeah.
like the sausage wrapper, encampment, that type of
The
like,
intestine
Like
is what you're
sausage
asking?
patty, they wrap
Yeah.
it,
Oh,
they dip
okay.
it,
Yeah.
they fry
Yeah,
it.
it's fried.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
You'd
that's
love
different.
it. Yeah,
It
man.
probably is good.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We're eating Scotch eggs this year.
All right. We'll do it tomorrow during the trade deadline. That is tomorrow, Thursday, if you're keeping track, 3 p.m. Eastern, the official deadline time. The NBA Daily Podcast, they're going to be live all damn day. I think they're going live at 7:30 in the morning tomorrow. Everybody's stopping by, including the No Dunks guys. So check that out. Again, at 7:30 it'll start, underway on YouTube. And then make sure you come over here at 10 o'clock. By then you'll be a little tired of it, I imagine. But then you go right back to it.
Man, look at these names.
And then you can come back to us. I mean, we're going to have you covered at The Athletic all day tomorrow with NBA Daily and, of course, No Dunk. So going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, there's a lot of names. I'm not reading them for the podcast listener. You're going to have to come over and check that out.
Check it out.
We had another wedgie last night. This is unreal. Nice little run here of wedgies. Joel Embiid at the free throw line, and he's going to miss it. And we're going to have another sort of rebound attempt wedgie. I guess Max Christie gets the official nod for wedgie number 27, at least according to wedgietracker.com. It's going to Max. So, good stuff. Really good stuff as this ticks up, and we're almost on pace again for that magical number of 50, just at 49 there. A lot of games to talk about last night, and we will get to them. Also, if we have time, we'll get to some trivia. I got some really random trivia for you guys and everybody in the stream team and the podcast listeners, but we got to start with the slop. Oh, yeah. Would the Suns trade Kevin Durant? Other teams around the NBA apparently feel like it's enough of a possibility to call and check in on KD's availability. A report from Shams earlier this week indicated that the Warriors have interest in a reunion that would bring KD back to the Bay, back to Steph Curry. And then yesterday, The Athletic reported that the Mavericks... What? The Mavericks and the Rockets are both intrigued by the possibility of adding the 14-time All-Star. I want to note here, Kevin Durant downgraded to doubtful for tonight's game in OKC as these trade talks swirl. Now, the Suns say he's dealing with a left ankle sprain from the previous game, but there are whispers that he might just be butthurt, that his name is in trade talks here, and he's maybe upset.
A butt injury.
The butt or the ankle?
Yeah. So, okay, we touched on this a little bit yesterday, but this is really gaining a lot of momentum here over the last 24 hours. Like, suddenly it feels potentially realistic that Kevin Durant has actually moved at the deadline. It's sort of wild.
Yes, and after we were shocked on the weekend with Luka Doncic, we are prepared to be shocked yet again. I think we're more accepting of that. But I only think that this is a possibility because the Bradley Beal for Jimmy Butler deal isn't a possibility.
Right.
And that could be because Bradley Beal's saying, no, I'm not waiving my no trade clause. Or it could be because the Miami Heat aren't accepting of Bradley Beal. Or it could be because the third team in that deal is not accepting of what they could get. Now, that being said, if Kevin Durant goes to the Dallas Mavericks may give the Phoenix Suns enough to make that Bradley Beal, the Jimmy Butler part of that trade happen. It is convoluted.
Yes.
It is
you
quite
got me
convoluted.
confused right now.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, if they get Kevin Durant away from their team and they get enough pieces back, they may be able to get Jimmy Butler
Right.
to their team. Which we saw what Nico Harrison just did, and that's what it is confusing, is it not?
It's confusing.
Yeah.
Why would you trade Kevin Durant in order to be able to trade for Jimmy Butler?
Yeah, bingo.
Doesn't make sense. I mean, the mechanics are confusing. The idea of it also confusing.
Yeah, what they'd have back. It is all confusing, but I would think that the Phoenix Suns would just be going for it now. More so just going for it now. Just
But how's
with
that going? It's going backwards.
Why
right?
is it going back? Well,
Going from Kevin Durant to Jimmy Butler is going backwards.
they'd be getting other parts. There's other parts.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
The Athletic wrote Phoenix might need to move KD for the kind of returns that allow it to enhance its offer to Miami. Yeah. The thing is here, there's two potential things going on here. It's the Jimmy Butler dreams of playing for the Phoenix Suns is dead because of the Beal, the no trade clause, and that's like, okay, that's sort of over. And if that's the case, is Phoenix now going, well, we can't land Jimmy Butler. Maybe we have to trade Kevin Durant to like really shake things up. Obviously, get draft capital, get other players, and that's maybe where the Warriors part comes in. Like, is it Draymond Green, Kuminga? Is it Trace Jackson Davis? Like whatever that package is, and draft capital just for KD. But is it tied together with Butler or not? Is the real question.
Or the Phoenix Suns could be looking at what the Dallas Mavericks are doing, and they're not locked into a future with Luka Doncic, and they're saying, you know what, we don't want to extend Kevin Durant past his contract next year and say, let's shorten this baby, I suppose.
Yeah, it's strange, man. Bradley Beal said, I hold all the cards, and he holds so many cards that we might end up with Kevin Durant back in Golden State.
Right.
That's pretty crazy.
Right.
Shout out to the Wizards. We never knew that this no-trade clause would result in this years and years down the line, but this kind of reads to me as the Suns coming to terms with Beal likely sticking around. They're reporting right now is that there still have been no discussions about him actually waiving his no-trade clause. Nobody wants to trade for Beal, is basically what it sounds like. So if the Suns, they can go one of two ways. They could trade Devin Booker and start a rebuild immediately. Matt Ishbia clearly doesn't want to do that. Or they can look at trading Kevin Durant, who has a big enough contract and is still desirable enough that he could maybe bring back players, draft picks, something that Phoenix could then move if they wanted to, because they just love making trades. They can't stop it, you know?
And he's only signed through next year, so you're more on the Booker timeline than this Kevin Durant timeline.
Yeah, exactly. But if they then go and do the deal for Jimmy Butler, like, you're still old. That's still an old team.
Yes, no doubt. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Okay. So you think, if Phoenix doesn't land Jimmy Butler, and mainly because of this whole Beal situation with the no trade clause, do you think they should move Kevin Durant, let's say to the Warriors or the Rockets or whatever, to get like a really nice package back? And like, sort of, you're at that point, you're almost like, we're retooling, we're resetting in a way. Like, this doesn't work. We really pooched it when we got Beal, to be honest here, because we just backed ourselves into a corner. And
I mean, to be quite honest, the Suns were closer to winning a title before they traded for Kevin Durant.
Yes.
That might have been the biggest misstep, if we're being honest here. They traded so much for him that they had to go in on Beal because he was available.
Okay.
They got him for pretty cheap. They gave up most of their draft picks in the Durant deal.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's been the problem for them actually adding to their team here. So, I don't know. I mean, I would do a KD trade, and then I wouldn't do a Jimmy Butler trade if they're actually trying to retool. Because I don't think it's a retooling. I think it's like a sidestep if they do the move for Butler.
And what about potential packages from, let's say, the Warriors? Let's focus on that. There's a tie between Draymond Green and Matt Ishbia, obviously college ties. Does he need to be included in this piece? Kuminga seems like a no-brainer as like the prospect. They do have some draft picks. Are you doing this if you're the Warriors?
We're trading the Warriors.
The Warriors are trading for Kevin Durant again. Getting him back there
just
to give
confirm.
Curry a chance. You doing it?
Oh, yeah, the Warriors are doing it. Absolutely. I don't think it's a question.
You think they would trade Draymond? I don't think they would trade Draymond.
I don't think so.
But he's in the mix. Like, that's the team who at The Athletic was reporting that Matt Ishbia has a thing for Draymond as a Michigan State alum as well. I can't imagine the Warriors doing that. I think they would rather give the poo-poo platter of guys who might be helpful.
Of the Wiggins contract to the Kuminga, the Looney, possibly Schroeder's deal, and get there with that.
Yes, I think so.
Andre Iguodala, we're not retiring your jersey. We're giving you a jersey. You play for this team now. It's 2018 all over again.
Oh my God, I can't believe this. Okay, here's my conspiracy though. This is all bullshit. Kevin Durant is the star of the second season of Netflix documentary series Starting Five. We need some drama here, right here at the deadline. This is going to make some for great material, good content for season 2 of Starting Five, as says the main guy. But no, it's just insane how this has just taken on a life of its own. After, of course, the Luka huge blockbuster deal where he's on the Lakers and AD to the Mavs, and then it's like not long after, it's like, oh my God. Kevin Durant gonna get moved, and then it's like, oh yeah, Jimmy Butler. Like, remember when Jimmy Butler was like the only real name as we headed into the deadline, and now he's been like trumped by like 4 different guys.
Yeah, I think both from the Warriors' perspective and the Mavericks' perspective, they have a bunch of guys that would, quote unquote, add up to Kevin Durant, which is just a bunch of parts and a bunch of younger parts with the Warriors. Yeah, we talked about a little Kuminga, a little Pajemski, Gently, and also from the Mavericks perspective, a Gafford, PJ Washington, Derek Lively, Clay combo works. Now that's one young guy really, and Derek Lively with a little PJ on the side. The numbers work. It is a little crazy when you start to think about all these parts.
So you're looking at that as like Nico Harrison and the Mavs like doubling down on this idea of like win now. Yeah. This year or potentially next year, but right now is the window because we are older. We got rid of Luka. Everybody hates us. We're soulless as a franchise. So we make this move and we try and get KD to pair with Kyrie and AD.
It's also not just this year, but they've also doubled down on just the next few years with this trade that they've made for with Caleb Martin. He's got cost certainty with a locked-in contract, and so they are doubling and tripling down on not only saying goodbye to Luka Doncic in a 5-6 year combo, but the next few years with Caleb Martin being there, and they didn't want to pay Quentin Grimes, I assume. We'll get to that trade. But, whoa!
We got ourselves a trade!
Right here, right now.
We got an actual trade.
What do we have?
Shams is reporting that the Milwaukee Bucks are trading Khris Middleton, AJ Johnson, and a pick swap to the Washington Wizards for Kyle Kuzma, PBJ, and second-round draft compensation.
Okay.
Peanut butter and jelly?
Wow.
Patrick Baldwin Jr., former Warrior himself.
Yes, that's right. So so we're swerving. Let's get off the Kevin Durant. We wait for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one had been sort of like rumored for the last 24 hours, 48 hours or so. This idea of Kuzma going to the Bucks, and you said it's Middleton as the main piece, leaving Milwaukee. Okay, give it to me one more time, TK. Just one more time.
I'm getting
because I got a lot of names bopping around.
The Wizards are getting Khris Middleton, AJ Johnson, who was the Bucks' first-round pick and looks like he's 16 years old, and a pick swap.
Okay.
So they haven't seen the detail on the pick swap yet. And then the Bucks are getting Kuzma and then Patrick Baldwin Jr. Second-round draft pick.
So all right. So let's.
It's
a Middleton for Kuzma with AJ Johnson as
Yes.
obviously a young prospect going to the Wizards. Okay. Well, your reaction. Grade it, man. Grade it.
My initial reaction is the Milwaukee Bucks absolutely going for it and acquiring a guy who's had his most terrible season in a long time in Kyle Kuzma. That's the surprising
Sad part is so has Middleton, obviously.
Middleton
and the guy
has
has a reason with 2 ankle surgeries.
Middleton, I know it doesn't look good, but 3 of the last 4 games, he's dropped over 20.
He's got it going.
7 of 10 his last game, 8 of 9 the game before, 10 of 13 4 games ago. He's looked his best in this tiny little sample size because he's fought injury after injury after injury. They've tried him coming off the bench to be that 6th guy, just to be a initiator off the bench. It didn't look bad at all. Kyle Kuzma does look bad, but he has done some things in the NBA before to help win a championship. And so I like it
This guy is eating off this championship so much. He was the 8th man on the Lakers in the bubble championship. Yeah. He doesn't play like that anymore.
He hasn't played like that in a long time.
He was defense and rebounding back then.
Yeah, I like what the Washington Wizards are doing by saying, hey, we're not tied to Kyle Kuzma again.
That's good for them.
They're basically going somewhat of a direction here. The Milwaukee Bucks side of things, in theory, it's okay.
Exactly. They need a player like Kuzma, like a big wing who's kind of a small ball 4. Like, they need their version of PJ Washington. Because you look at the Bucks and probably 3 of their top 7 before the Middleton trade. I'm thinking Middleton, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis. They won't be able to stay on the court at the highest levels of winning here. Against a team like the Thunder, against a team like the Celtics that's going to put them in 5-out, those three guys are liabilities
Yeah,
at
yeah.
this point. Now, the idea that Kuzma is the savior here is pretty odd. Last season, at least, he was averaging 20 points a game, shooting decent percentages. He has been atrocious this year. So if you're a Bucks fan, you just traded Khris Middleton, a guy who helped win you a title, instrumental to winning the title. You have to hope that Kuzma has just been mailing it in for the past
That's
3
exactly
seasons.
it.
And he has been mailing it in, but does he still have it? Does he want to be a role player? We'll see.
Would you say mailing in the last 3 seasons, even though he was good last year? He's never been great, but he was more of a dependable
He's the Wizards,
guy.
man. They've been the worst team in the league.
Yeah. But
And he's been their star.
Yeah. He was trying. And he was
trying to score.
This year,
He was
numbers
trying
were-
to score.
his
Let's
numbers were
see if he can
decent.
play winning basketball again.
Yeah.
Is the question.
Yeah, it's
And
been a while.
and we've seen it before. A guy obviously, in no man's land, playing for one of the worst teams in the league, gets stats or whatever, just goes through the motions, finds his way to a team like with some championship aspirations, obviously a leader, more of a structure, and can slot in and actually contribute. That's very much in play. But man, Kuzma, it is really bad this year. Really bad. 15 points per game. Okay, 42% from the field. 28% from deep? That stopped me in my tracks. I didn't know it was that bad. He's garbage at the free throw line when he gets there, too. He's a 60% free throw shooter this year, and he shoots a lot of threes, too. That's like 5 attempts per game, so it's very, very bad. Obviously, the Bucks are going to hope that gets up to levels seasons prior, like when he was a better shooter at least and hit it with better consistency. Yeah.
Yes, he looked more dependable the last couple of years, but he has to take on this role of playing defense again, not shooting every single possession he touches the ball. He has to change. He has to be a different guy. I guess you can say for once Doc Rivers and the Milwaukee Bucks are going young.
Yeah, I guess he's in his prime, right? Kuz is 29, I think.
Yeah, he's 29 in comparison to Khris Middleton, who was literally the number 2 guy handling the ball for a championship team. Now, it was a long time ago. It was 4 years ago, but he ain't that same guy. And I was surprised because I just thought they would give Khris Middleton a chance here with what he's been doing recently. But, man, they are going for it. They are going for it in a similar way. I was going to say similar way to Nico Harrison, how they're going for it now, but they just got younger in a weird way. But it is. Is it a lateral move? It's hard to.
If he's their version of PJ Washington from last year, playing on a bad team, and the Hornets came in and gave the Mavericks exactly what they needed, somebody who could guard like a Jason Tatum type, rebound as well, hit wide open threes. If Kuzma does this, I think it's an upgrade. I'm personally not very confident that Kuzma is going to be able to do that.
It's a good point that they are looking at the Boston Celtics and they want somebody with height on the wing.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though Khris Middleton was a good defender once upon a time, but
It's
that's
long
what
gone.
that's what they're looking for. That's a very good part of their calculation here.
Yeah, and for those like, hey, how do the books work on this? Kuzma does make a lot less than Khris Middleton, current contract. He makes $23 million, Kuzma does this year, but he's locked in for the next 2 years, $21 million, $19 million. Not an insane, contract. It declines, obviously, whereas Middleton has $34 million player option for next season. So whether he will test free agency, he just takes that and then tries to sort of rehabilitate his sort of value and get sort of maybe one last sort of pretty decent contract in his career, remains to be seen. All right, any other thoughts there on Wiz Bucks, a trade breaking while we're live here in the Classic Factory? You love to see it. Okay, well, let's get to then another trade that did happen last night. The Mavericks, they made their second deal of the trade season. They acquired 76ers wing Caleb Martin. Tass slipped this in. Philly will receive Quentin Grimes in return. This guy's racking up the sky miles. And will regain control of their own 2025 second round draft pick. So Martin, in the first season of that 76ers deal that he signed, 4 years, $35 million, he's going to the Dallas Mavericks. What was your initial reaction to this one?
My initial reaction was, how dare you trade Quentin Grimes
You
this
love
season?
yourself some Grimes.
He's been having a good season, a better season than Caleb Martin. He's having a very solid season. The first time he's been really good since his second season with the Knicks. It's been a while. He looked good. That being said, hate to get to the dollar bills, but that is a huge part of this. They tried to sign Quentin Grimes to an extension in October before the deadline. They couldn't come to an agreement. Quentin Grimes is going to make more than Caleb Martin, I imagine. You said those numbers, Skeets. There is some good numbers there for Caleb Martin. He is making $8.5 million guaranteed next year. That sounds like nothing in
Yeah,
the NBA.
he should be making double that, remember?
Yeah, right.
Him and his agent sort of pooched that one.
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah.
he had like a $68 million offer, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
It was much more than that.
And not just
from what I
next
remember.
year, but he's guaranteed under 9 the next year after that. So they've got him for 2 years plus a player option for the following year, while Quentin Grimes was going to make more than that.
Yeah.
Caleb Martin, he is a very good perimeter defender. He can defend big guys more so than Quentin Grimes.
yeah.
That's what it's going to come down to. And it is, I'm sure they're looking at the Boston Celtics on the other side and saying, hey, this guy would be good to defend against Jason Tatum. In a scenario like that. I know it's long term,
God,
but
Taz Mellis has the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA
Well,
Finals.
Caleb
man.
Martin is the Celtics killer.
He's a killer,
He plays
dude.
better against the Celtics than anybody else. I wouldn't personally worry about it if I'm the Mavericks.
they got other things to worry about.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
But hold on, the numbers against the Celtics are awesome.
The numbers are crazy against the Celtics. He's like
got the
Larry
number.
Bird against the Celtics.
He is.
Yeah,
he is.
He averaged in that conference finals 60% from the field, 49% from three, 19 points per game. When they threw him in the starting lineup for games 6 and 7, he was 21 and 15, and then 26 and 10.
That's crazy.
21 points and 15 rebounds from this guy as a starter. 26 and 10. He's 29, so he kind of fits that Dallas Mavericks timeline.
Yeah.
Very, very well. More so than Quentin Grimes,
Yeah.
who's too young. He's too young for us, which is a weird thing to say, but
They also just got Max Christie in a trade.
Yes.
That
So
part
he's
of it,
going to
yeah.
take all the Quentin Grimes minutes anyways.
Yes.
He had a nice game in his debut last night in a loss. And like you're saying, Caleb Martin, he's fine, man. He's 29 years old. I don't really like the idea of his contract in 2028, but who cares? It's such a cheap deal.
Yeah.
He didn't have a great season. I was happy. I thought it was a good signing for the Sixers preseason. Shot the ball really poorly to start, turned it around a little bit here. So I think this is honestly like a lateral move. I think that Grimes will probably help the Sixers a little bit more because now they don't have to play Lowry as much, don't have to play Reggie Jackson as much. Eric Gordon doesn't need to play as much. There's minutes as like a depth piece shooting guard, I think, for Philadelphia, and they need outside shooting as well. So good for them, and they picked up a little picky pick here.
Yeah, this trade makes sense, honestly, for both teams, at least like where they're at right now. I don't mind it. You said like the cost control for Martin, I think, is a big piece of this because Grimes would hit restricted free agency. And then you alluded to it, you get Max Christie. Dante Exum returned for them. You obviously have Kyrie. You have Clay. You got Dinwiddie. You got Hardy. It's like not a lot of minutes really to go around sort of there for Grimes. So they go a little bit bigger with Martin on the wing there and sort of like trying to like replicate what they lost when Derek Jones Jr. left. Not even completely different players, but obviously a little defense on the wing. So yeah, and that 2025 second round pick originally sent to the Thunder in 2021, but made its way to the Mavericks via last season's PJ Washington trade with Charlotte. So now it gets returned to Philadelphia. I love seeing a draft pick find its way home. Start somewhere, move around the league, and then just come on back. Yeah. So they got it.
Yeah, the Mavs definitely need another ball handler type.
Yes.
But they don't need Quentin Grimes because Cam Christie, as you mentioned, very good game. And Dante Exum, he is a ball handler type and he's coming around, but he also gives the ball away sometimes. But yeah, Caleb Martin makes more sense on that team. This is a wild couple months for a team that just literally dropped out of the play-in tournament. The Mavericks are 11th.
Yeah.
This is a weird time.
When you got excited about the trade breaking, I thought it was KJ Martin because they say he's going to be moved.
It happened. Derek Bodner's reporting this.
Oh, gee, I didn't even know that.
Oh, really?
No.
That's true. And not a full Southern lawyer for this one.
Okay.
Not a
Yeah.
horse for sure. The Sixers are sending KJ Martin and 2 second-round picks to the Detroit Pistons. I see it from Derek Bodner. I don't know who had it first.
Okay.
But it seems to me that between this deal with KJ Martin, who was basically traded or like signed as a big salary, that they're obviously now salary dumping here. Same with getting cheaper with Quentin Grimes. Maybe it means they'll be able to keep Gershon Yabusele.
Yes.
Which is big because he's been a great find for them.
very
A bright
good.
spot for the Sixers.
Okay, so KJ Martin, that's amazing. I was going to say, inactive last night. Jake Fisher said he's probably going to get dealt today. They're weighing their options, and I guess that option,
gone.
they go with the Detroit Pistons getting him.
No more Martins, huh?
Martin!
They're out of the Martin market.
Yeah, that's right. All right, well, let's leave the slop there. All right, you little piggies, you ate enough? Let's take a break. And let's talk a little bit about the games last night. And let's talk about the two teams that were involved in the blockbuster over the weekend. That's the Lakers and the Mavericks. The Lakers crushed the Clippers, 122-97, with Luka Doncic watching on the bench, smiling on the bench, just loving every minute of this crew.
Here's a short video of Luka Doncic walking. there was literally videos of him walking and then sitting down on the bench and then clapping for a dunk. Did you see him clap?
Yeah, man. Mike Trudell, Lakers reporter, tweeted last night, Luka Doncic has done quite a bit of impressed clapping on the Lakers bench tonight. Most recently, including a fist pump and a laugh as LeBron converted a tough and one. You know, he like put on his
right in front of him. Right in front of him. Yeah.
I do like that Luka and LeBron were sitting together all night.
And Bronny.
Yeah, maybe. Of course, yeah.
And then
Family.
Bronny hit his first 3 of his NBA career.
Yes.
And Luka clapped more than his dad.
Wow.
I would say, no. I'm not trying to downplay what Dad did. Dad clapped and then did something with his shoes or his tights. Luka clapped a little bit more. Anyway.
It is weird to think that Luka is closer in age to Bronny than LeBron is.
Yeah.
By far.
By a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like bros, man. This was just a beatdown here for the Lakers. They had 45 points in the first quarter. Kept it rolling, obviously, throughout the game to get the 25-point victory in the Intuit Dome. Just everybody contributing, and LeBron, I mean, he's a little pep to his step. These last couple games,
Yes,
LeBron,
he
in
did.
Madison Square Garden, now with Luka on the bench there, in the Intuit Dome playing the other LA team, he's looking a little spry there for the old man. But any other things from this game?
Well, the Lakers come in slightly worried. Our 2 best defensive players, in Max Christie, Anthony Davis, are gone. But the other guys just came in and worked their butts off. They worked extremely hard, and then they shot the ball ridiculously well in the first quarter.
Yeah.
They shot 75%.
75%. Yeah.
And everybody was hitting threes. So that's the thing. If LeBron and Luka are on the floor and Rui bangs home 2 threes in the first quarter, Austin Reeves bangs home 2 threes in the first quarter, here comes Gabe to knock one from Gabe Vincent, and LeBron said, well, these guys are working it. He hit 2 to end the quarter to give them 45 points. Then he got a little peeved off with Dalton Connect at the end of the quarter. I don't know how.
They allowed the bomb.
The bomb,
Yeah.
The bomb took like 10 seconds for James Harden to get the ball out of bounds, and somehow he just bombed it like a cherry pick.
Yeah.
It was a weird situation there. But yeah, LeBron got his flex on after that. He was super happy. Like, look at these guys playing for me. 2 flexes in the second quarter. And yeah, the supporting cast, my man Jared Vanderbilt coming off the bench, plus 21, working his butt off. Gabe hitting 4 threes. Dalton Connect. Listen, JJ Redick is doing a good job at connecting these guys. I got to say connect again.
Yeah.
I mean, he said he was, kind of a little upset and taking it hard after the end of the first quarter, and he's working it, man. He's doing a great job, I think, getting everybody together.
Do you have any comments on this game or the Luka press conference where he's introduced to the LA fans and media?
I like people just absolutely convinced that this guy was up crying the entire night previous because he looked a little bit sad. I mean, he did. There are times he did, and there are times he looked happy.
Yeah.
Very funny, though, that Rob Pelinka started by thanking Nico Harrison.
Oh, my God.
Thank you so much for giving us a franchise cornerstone. Didn't know why you didn't want him. Two guys I'm interested in are, you mentioned them, Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves. They both had awesome games last night. 20 points apiece. They both hit some threes. I could see both of them being moved, to be quite honest. Like, Austin Reeves had a great run, helped the Lakers get their season back on track here, but you bring in Luka Doncic. He's taking up all of the point guard possessions where Austin Reeves has been thriving. Does he come off the bench? That might actually be helpful because if you have LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves on the court, that's 3 targets defensively from the perimeter. Rui Hachimura, he's more so a contract that could help them bring somebody back because they're going to need a big man. Jackson Hayes, he was fine last night, but he's not a realistic big man for this team going forward. So I wonder if Reeves and Rui are on the block at all here because they seem like players who fit more so around the Anthony Davis version around this team, and those like slots could be used for something more positive.
Yeah. In the West right now, it's OKC 1, Memphis holding on to 2, Rockets down to 3, then Nuggets and Lakers 4-5. But Lakers only 1 game back from Denver. Only 2 games back from the Rockets, who are on a bit of a weird slide here. I know we'll get to the crazy ending of that game. And the Lakers separated themselves by another game with that win over the Clippers, who are trailing them.
Yeah, it was weird to see the Clippers, who now are 6th, and that's the play-in tournament ain't that far for them to drop. It was weird to see Kawhi Leonard getting burned on the defensive end. He just wasn't himself multiple times. Very strange. Everybody wants the All-Star game to come. I mean, these bad teams I'm specifically referring to, like the Clippers, the Rockets, who've hit this little rut of 4 losses in a row.
Just want that break.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
They do.
Go hit the island for a couple days, get a nice tan. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, and because I consider those guys a good team, or those teams good teams. We'll get to the Rockets in a second. Maybe this losing is good for them. We'll talk about
wow. What do you think, just before we move on, of the ketchup and mustard uniforms last night between these two squads? Because we had the Clippers wearing those bright reds versus the Lakers in their mustards.
I mean, I hadn't thought of it as ketchup and mustard. I actually like both of them. I mean,
so do I.
Lakers gold is a classic, and honestly, shout out to the Clippers. Their rebound looks great.
You like it?
Yeah.
Good.
I think this is the best the Clippers have looked. End of sentence, I guess. They look good, man. What can I say? I like the light blues. I like the reds. It like nods back to the Loy Vaught days with the cursive on the
This
front.
is the second show in a row when we mentioned Loy Vaught.
Bro, he was on Basketball Reference this morning, too.
Oh, yes.
He was one of the little headshots.
Oh, man. I used to always try and get Loy Vaught when we played fantasy basketball.
Loy Vaught
He put up
season.
numbers, man. Sneaky good.
VaughtOrNot.com.
Okay, let's talk about the Mavericks. They lost. No Anthony Davis, of course, but Embiid, he played. First game in like a month. He was good. He had a triple-double. Sixers got by the Mavericks 118-116. I will say this is a sloppy game at the end. It felt like both teams were trying to give it away. So it wasn't the prettiest basketball I've ever seen, but the Sixers get it done over Dallas. Tass, what jumped out to you?
Well, yeah, I see people saying, "Well, Joel Embiid, what a play at the end." They are playing nobody at the center spot because Lively is hurt. Anthony Davis ain't playing. And then Daniel Gafford actually left this game with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. That would have helped to have a guy to, do something against Joel Embiid because they were throwing out our man, Walker Kessler Edwards.
You were impressed by Kessler and Kyler?
No, they have the 2 Ks on that team.
Combined 1 point in 23 minutes last night?
So not to... I really... The biggest thing with the Mavericks is watching Dante Exum to see if he could retain the ball and not turn it over and over. He was doing some good things. He was taking it into the lane and doing his thing. Being able to get some push shots and hold on to the ball because they desperately need a playmaker. After Luka gone, he looks okay. The other thing was Cam Christie just looked super solid defensively. He just gets down in that position every single possession.
Please call me Max.
Yes, I'm sorry. I call him Cam. Why do I call him Cam? Bro Cam. His brother Cam.
Yeah.
It's just funner to say Cam Christie, I think. Anyway.
I was getting confused with 2 Edwards playing.
Yeah.
We had an Edwards on the Mavs. We had an Edwards on the Sixers.
Yeah.
Both started in this game.
Yeah. And you could tell that Max, don't call me Cam, can shoot from 3 and just play off guys so well. Hit 4 of 4 threes in this one.
Yeah, good game.
So he makes sense for him, although some weird stuff at the end. That was just weird. Just a weird ending to a basketball game.
Was.
I thought both teams could challenge a play that was happening on both sides. Like Najee Marshall got hit.
Yeah.
And the Mavericks should have definitely challenged that. But at the other end, Joel Embiid got hit. So how do you challenge that in a live play? Like, you call a timeout, challenge that thing before the challenge. You can't challenge before me because I got a challenge. Weird ending.
That's what jumped out to me. The Sixers made like a calculated decision to try and double Kyrie, like get the ball out of his hands.
Yes.
Who else is going to beat us? And it like fell to Najee Marshall to like try and make things happen. And he was attacking, and he wasn't getting calls. I think he was getting a little frustrated down the stretch where there was maybe a couple of times where he did get hit. But that's like with no AD, obviously no Luka now. It's like that's the game plan. Like I'm sorry, like Klay had looks. He also, he like, holy crap. It's still Klay Thompson. That ball hits his hands. He's letting it rip. There was a couple like, ooh, I don't know about that one, Klay. Finished 3 of 8, but from deep. But yeah, just get it out of Kyrie's hands. And they were aggressive doing that.
He's going to see a lot of double teams now.
Yeah.
For as much as the Nico Harrison decision was wanting to bring in Anthony Davis, it's also a bet that Kyrie Irving can regain his status as a number 1 offensive engine. He hasn't been that guy for a long time. Obviously Luka was there with Dallas when he played for the Nets. Kevin Durant was there. James Harden was there for a chunk of his tenure as well. So we'll see what it's like for him now as the actual number 1 guy. There were times during the playoffs last year where it was like Kyrie Irving was like 12 points and 7 assists. He wasn't really doing much, but he was playing well defensively, is doing what he had to do. We'll see if he's able to scale up. I thought Embiid looked like Joel Embiid coming back. Like, sometimes he looks fast, sometimes he looks slow, sometimes he looks smooth, sometimes he looks rusty, all in the same game. But I did like to see him banging down low in this one. He had 6 dunks or layups, including basically the last 2 buckets. He said, "Oh, Kessler Edwards and Kyler Kelly is who I'm going to be seeing. Yeah, I can play my first game in a month. Sign me up." No competition out there. He ran wild. And Tyrese Maxey is on quite the heater right now. 33 points, 13 assists for him last night. It's his 6th game with 30 or more points, basically 50% field goal shooting in all of those. He's 4th in the league in scoring right now. His percentages have come around. It was a slow start to the season. Really, really choppy for the Philadelphia 76ers. Paul George is still not playing right now, but Maxey looks good. Edwards seems to be like a decent rotation player. Yabusele has been a great find. If the Bulls had lost last night, the Sixers would have been in 10th place. Of course, the Bulls won. So Philly, 1 game from 10th, 3rd from 8th, 4.5 from 6th. They could still make a run to the playoffs here. I don't really think they're a scary team, but they could salvage the season a little bit.
Yeah, sure, for sure.
The Mavericks also want that All-Star game to happen right now because they have dropped to 11th. There's a 4-way tie for 8th, essentially. 8, 9, 10, 11 are all tied.
Right.
And they are super banged up. That's why they need as much time off as possible. I mentioned Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, but also PJ Washington did play in this game. They needed some height, and so they're just lacking. They've lost 3 in a row, and it would be a tumultuous season if the Mavericks fans could say, "Oh boy, I mean, we missed the playoffs. We missed the play-in if it goes poorly."
Yeah.
And in this Western Conference, you can't say that it won't happen. There is a chance, especially with the Spurs. The Spurs are the team now in 12th that got better. It's going to be hard.
I keep thinking All-Star Weekend is this weekend. I don't know why. I just keep thinking, all right, it's right around the corner. But no, we got the deadline and then the All-Star Weekend next weekend. Tatum scored 22. Celtics held off the Cavs 112-105 in a matchup of the Eastern Conference's best teams. Really impressive win from Boston. You know, remember when everybody was panicking about them and a lot of people were like, don't worry about it. Let's chill. Porzingis obviously back in a huge part, and they just sort of dominated this game. I know the Cavs, I think they got it to maybe 4 there in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, it was
but
4, yeah.
You know, the Celtics answered that and got a pretty comfortable victory. But your biggest takeaway?
I guess Nico Harrison was right. Defense wins championships. I mean, that's why they won this game. They just turned it up defensively. They look like an entirely different team. To be shooting only 34% in the first quarter and be up 13 points, because you're playing D. They shot 40% from the field for the entire game and win. They weren't that great from the 3-point line at all, which, you know, everybody thinks that's who the Celtics are. You got to play on both ends, and to see Al Horford come back and be Al Horford, like he hadn't have a double-digit scoring game in 20 days. It's been a while for Al, so they're starting to look really good.
That's the thing. It's like, okay, Porzingis, you know, not the greatest shooting night last night, especially from 3, but like Derek White's on. Al Horford, like you said, contributing double-double off the bench. Like, it's like you don't worry about Tatum really or Jalen Brown. Like, they're star guys. Like the odd night here or there, maybe where they struggle, but they're pretty damn consistent. That's where they're all stars and all NBA players. It's all those other guys, Trey, that like once they level up, that's when Boston looks pretty unbeatable, where you're like, how are you going to beat them out, 4 times out of 7?
Exactly right. If they decide to play defense, they're basically unbeatable because they have so many offensive weapons. Jalen Brown had a 12-point quarter. Jason Tatum and Kristaps Porzingis both had 11-point quarters. Derek White had a 14-point quarter. But the most important thing is that they limited Cleveland to 5 fast break points and 11 3-pointers. Like, they were getting back on defense and they were closing out on the 3-point line. That's how the Celtics win. They're on a little bit of a roll right here. 4 straight wins. They beat the Bulls. Then they had the Tatum game winner, the huge comeback against Philadelphia, and now a road win in Cleveland. They've got to be feeling good heading into the All-Star break here pretty soon. I thought it was just good stuff from the Celtics because the Cavs did their thing where they get a Cavalanche. They got back into the game, and every time the Celtics were ready to respond.
The problem for the Cavs is George Niang can't play against the Celtics.
No.
When they're playing good.
He's no Caleb Martin.
No.
That's right.
Yeah, and the idea of Cam Johnson coming to the Cleveland Cavaliers where they have to upgrade that one spot on their team would make a heck of a lot of sense. Now, no Dean Wade in this game, which would be an upgrade. On George Niang is just too slow for this Boston Celtics matchup, that's for sure.
And Mobley, brutal night for him. 7 points, 3 of 14 shooting. Now, he recently returned from a calf injury. he did not look all that explosive to me, so he's sort of getting back in the swing of things. But he's he's huge to them too. Like you remember like the first round series against the Magic, he had some duds. He had a great series in the second round, but he had like a 3-point game and like a 10-point game and like not being aggressive and stuff like that. Like he's a catalyst for this team, obviously. And they kept him in check last night and he just struggled. Wild game that we have to show you to the ending of because the Nets stole a win from the Rockets. Unbelievable closing sequence. Keon Johnson, D'Angelo Russell, both making threes in the final 10 seconds as the Nets stunned the Rockets 99-97, their first home victory in 2 months. You know, they're down 4 when you had Johnson hit the 3 and then Amen Thompson just threw away the inbounds pass, gets tapped wisely from Iwomu to D'Lo, who buries the 3, and suddenly they're up. And then Jalen Green got a look at a 3 and bricked it. And it was like, wow, holy crap. How did the Rockets lose this game? And how did the Nets win this?
Yeah, 6 points in 6 seconds. It's moments like this that make a tanking season bearable. I still remember Tomas Satoransky and Zach LaVine doing this for the Bulls against the Hornets, November 2019. Nets fans will never forget D'Angelo Russell's 3 from the top of the key. Hey, crazy! Remember
that place popped. Yeah.
That was a crazy play.
Yeah.
But honestly, if there's any real takeaway, I would say that it's the Rockets keep blowing fourth quarter leads
Holy
here.
moly.
They're having a tough time. Obviously their team isn't totally full right now, but they should be better in these fourth quarters, I do believe.
Yes, maybe this is a little blessing in disguise. When you come out of this, you can say, all right, we've been through those tough moments when they actually do win some games. Now, Fred VanVleet plays, they win.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. They don't like they were chucking 3-pointers in like the final minute of this game.
Oh yeah.
For no reason. Reed Shepherd took one when he didn't need to.
Oh boy.
And then they got the rebound and Green took it right away.
Yeah.
Like with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, a minute left, they're up 4. Reed Shepherd comes down. You gotta know. Time, score,
brutal.
And physics even. It was a 4-on-1 that Reed Shepherd was leading.
That should have been a layup or at least free throws. Right.
Yeah, time. Okay, you could burn 20 seconds at the very least. He just chucked. Score, all you need is a layup. Yeah. You don't need a 3-pointer. You're up 4. And then physics, you get into the lane, you dribble like this, you dribble the ball up. There's a defender in front of you. Pass it to the other guy beside you because it's a 4-on-1. Or if the guy goes to the guy you could pass to, physics, you just put it up against the glass.
I would have got an A+ in physics if I could have used basketball analogies. Man, I didn't know that was
so easy. Yeah, and then Jalen Green grabbed the rebound and said, oh man, this is fun. I only have 14 seconds now because we got an offensive rebound. I'm just going to chuck it. That was weird.
It was
very weird. And again, Fred's there. Then there's no problem. Most likely because Fred VanVleet is Fred VanVleet.
Yeah, he just would steady the ship, I think, a little bit. And Amen Thompson, like, as much as we've talked this guy up over the last couple weeks, he seems like a star in the making. He's fun as hell to watch. He fills the box score. This was a bad one. This was a guy that's 22 years old who's probably being asked to do a little too much. I think he had 7 turnovers, right, including that brutal one. It's always the passer's fault. Thompson, I'm sorry, man. I know maybe Brooks got held or could have grabbed it, but it was bad pass. I'm like, what are you doing? You panicked a little bit. And nice play again, the tip. Just smart thinking from Iwomu. That was awesome, I thought. Like that, a lot of people panic. The offensive player panics in that situation, right? Or you get it, I got to shoot it. No, just like wisely just tipped it to D'Lo right in rhythm and bang the 3.
Yeah, it was Vlade Divac tipping it out to Robert Ory.
Right.
I think this will go down in history just like that.
Yeah, I think so too. And apparently there was this was like a bulletin board material game for the Nets because they had recently beat the Rockets, if I have this correctly, and Udoka was like, he basically crapped on them, right? Like the Nets are a bad team. We shouldn't be losing to bad teams. I'm paraphrasing here, but this is what he was getting at.
He said they were a lower tier team.
Lower tier team, yes.
And wasn't he once almost hired by the Brooklyn Nets, and then they said, "Ooh, actually, we can't do that."
Oh, maybe, because of the Celtics. They got
Steve Nash, I think. Isn't that how that all happened?
Yeah, sounds sort of right.
Yeah, a little beef there.
So
if they ever meet in the finals, it should be spicy.
Ooh, maybe. What a win. What a crazy sequence. Any other takeaways? TK, I'll start with you from last night's game. I hope you're going to talk about one particular rookie.
I've been waiting months to say it. Did Matas Buzelis just win Rookie of the Year?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
24 points.
What a game.
10 of 10 from the field. 4 of 4 from 3. 2 rebounds, 2 blocks. According to Enjoy Basketball, he's the first rookie since Brad Miller in 1999 with 24 or more points on 100% field goal
Your guy,
shooting?
Brad Miller?
Unbelievable to
Wow.
me that this was the thing. Brad was a Hornet back then, but I was just thinking, is this the first ever Rising Stars reserve revenge game?
Oh, wow.
Like, how is Buzelis not in the Rising Stars game?
I don't know.
He goes out and puts up 24 points. Played 31 minutes. That's actually like my favorite number from this one. It's the most minutes he's played this season. He's in the rotation now, and to me, the rest of the Bulls season has to be about Buzelis' development. Like, who knows what he's actually going to be as a player, but he's going to be something because he's got good size, good length, really good defensive instincts. He's an awesome shot blocker already. He's got some skills, but the most important thing is he's got a motor. The dude is super competitive, plays really hard, and, you know, like he was hitting threes last night. That will be the swing thing in his game. Sure. Can he make threes? 4 for 4 last night, but then you watch his previous game against Detroit and you're seeing some atrocious misses. If it's going in, looks nice. Yeah. If it's not, yikes, a Rooney. But I love Buzelis. I love this man. Love Boozy Bert. Thank you so much for dropping to number 11. Steal of the draft.
It is so weird he's not in the Rising Stars game. It's like, I almost wonder, did they ask him because he's going in the dunk contest? And he was like, I'll just do Saturdays. Like, why isn't he there?
Allegedly, he's upset that they didn't ask him.
I mean, he should be. He should be, but he should blame Billy Donovan, really. I mean, he didn't get a lot of opportunity.
They didn't play him early in the season. He still makes a lot of mistakes because he's young. Yeah. But he didn't make any last night.
No.
He did, but not on the offensive end.
That was his best game, for sure.
Yeah.
I will just give a little head nod to the Toronto Raptors for playing Jalen Brunson, who were playing well against Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks. They came and fought back. Jalen Brunson hit the clutch shot just like he did the night before against Houston Rockets. It was almost the same spot. Mm-hmm. He was great. He had to close out the Toronto Raptors because they fought back. Jalen Brunson in the postgame interview gave some respect to the Toronto Raptors. He said ever since they got that new coach, they play hard for them.
Don't know his name, but you know that guy.
Yeah, it's React.
The guy that likes pizza.
He also said,
Pizza man.
He also said, I missed a couple of threes. His voice cracked.
Oh.
And he said, he called himself out. He said, I got to get rid of those cracks. And he literally stopped himself as soon as his voice cracked. You don't hear that too often in the NBA. But Jalen Brunson coming through. They had a back-to-back. And I guess we could have said that for the Houston Rockets, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
But, Jalen Brunson came through just like he did the night before. He looked awesome.
Oh, my God. And Kat, 27 and 20.
That's a lot of roast beef.
Yeah, we were just talking about guys that
Adam
had
Lefkoe said it at halftime.
Lefkoe's the best.
Love this guy.
It was fantastic. So, yeah, good win. And then the only other note I wanted to throw in here was I was surprised to see, I didn't watch any of this Blazers-Pacers game. Blazers, red hot, though. Number 1 team in the league right now. They crushed the Pacers, and Tyrese Halliburton, 0 points. And he played. Like, I was like, did he get injured? What happened? I mean, he played. He only took 3 shot attempts. Tamani Camara just locking him up, and a brutal game from him. But Blazers, man, this is unreal what they're doing right now.
Blazers are putting the clamps on everybody right now. They held Indiana to 89 points.
Yeah.
It's the 4th time in the last 8 games that the Blazers have held a team under 100 points. They've won 5 straight. Scoot last night, 17 points, 3 threes, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 turnovers. It ain't going to last the entire season that the Blazers are this good, but they're rolling right now. They're playing defense, and they're playing hard. Like, Scoot's a pretty solid defender. Chauncey Billups is using him in clutch moments as they're like going offense, defense, and Scoot is the defense guy.
Yeah.
So if he's committed to playing defense and his offensive game is actually coming around, he'll be able to start for that team someday. I know that's not what the Blazers were hoping when they traded Damian Lillard and then drafted him number 3, but I still think he's going to be at least a decent player eventually.
Yeah, and he's on the same team for that Rising Stars game as Tumani Kamara. They're going to have some chemistry out there. This team has won more games than they won last year.
Yeah, it's wild. Good stuff.
Good for them.
Let's talk about the Rising Stars draft results. Chris Mullin, Mitch Richmond, Tim Hardaway Sr. They drafted their teams yesterday with Jared Greenberg for the 2025 Rising Stars. Don't say challenge. It's not Rising Stars Challenge. It's just Rising Stars. Each NBA legend selected 7 players from the pool of 21 NBA rookies and sophomores. Amen Thompson went first overall to Team M. This graphic was driving me insane because they have Team M there in the middle, but Mitch Richmond did have the number 1 pick. But I think they just really wanted it to say TMC at the top.
It
was driving me insane. But there's a look at it for everybody on YouTube. I'm not going to go through it for the podcast listeners. Jeremy Lin will lead the team of 7 players representing the NBA G League, so that's the 4th team. TK, I'll ask you first, which team you like and who did the best drafting in your opinion?
Team M looks nice.
Oh, yeah.
You got twins in Amen and Asar, both on the team. You got 2 Trailblazers in Scoot and Tumani. And you got 2 Wizards in Bilal and Bub Carrington. This team is going to be impossible to score on.
Yeah. And
Defense.
Yves Missy as their big man. Yeah, it's a good-looking team. I think that's my favorite team.
Yeah.
Tess?
It's got too many defenders for the other teams to beat them. And I don't mind that they put TMC in that order on the graphic. Skeets, I'm okay with it because nobody really remembers the Rising Stars game, but they will remember this one if they ever look at this graphic because TMC is a good move. But yeah, that drafting by Team M.
I just got
awesome.
I just got very confused when I first saw this. I didn't watch it live. I know that's shocking. That I thought Cason Wallace went number 1. You know, when you look at it and you even think if it's a snake draft, you're like, oh wow, Wallace went number 1, but no, he didn't. He went early, but not number 1. So there it is.
That's a nice experienced team there. Team T.
Yeah, Team T.
Jaquez is an old guy. Tristan Da Silva is an old rookie.
This is true.
One of my
Experience, man.
One of my favorite things about this is like those guys, the legends, were prohibited. It said from making trades.
No trades.
No trades. They're like, this is already a nightmare for our production team to put up the names. You can't possibly go swapping guys. So it made me laugh. Anyway, it was a good job by Jared Greenberg. I did watch some small part of it to make sure Alman Thompson went number 1.
I'm sure there's those hater videos that are being produced to say that Zachary Sachet and Alex Sarr, the guys drafted 1-2, got drafted
in the Rising Stars late.
Oh, very late.
Very
in
late.
the last 3 rounds.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's got to be somebody who made that.
Some haters
Not
there.
that I want to point that out, but I just did.
Well, yesterday, ESPN and the NBA unveiled the rosters for the 2025 Ruffles NBA All-Star Celebrity Game taking place in Oakland on Friday, February 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So that happens before the Rising Stars game. I didn't realize it was in another arena. I know they do this, but yeah, this one's in Oakland, the Celeb game. A few names I know. Drewski, Shabuzi, Terrell Owens, even skills trainer Chris Brickley, okay? You know, there's the list for everyone on YouTube. It's not bad, but like always, there's a few names that got me going, who? Perhaps I'm old, though. So we're going to put that to the test. We're going to play Who Wants Some Trivia? Celebrity game style. I'm going to show the guys and you playing in the stream team a photo of an NBA All-Star celebrity in this game, and I'm going to ask you a multiple choice question. Okay? You guys can either battle it out or work together. And so play along. JD, you don't know the answers as well, so feel free to chime in. Our first celebrity from this game is this man, Shelby McEwen. All right? I want to know.
Is that his name?
That's his name.
I thought that was the question.
What does Shelby McEwen do for a living?
Chris Bosh impersonator.
I'm going to give you
he looks so similar.
three possibilities. One of them obviously correct. Okay. Is he A, an Olympic high jumper? Is he B, a runway model? Or is he C, a comedian / TikTok influencer?
I mean, that's a good bet for all of these. I think. When in doubt, go for that.
So Shelby McEwen, guys, what do you think? You're just going on looks. I assume none of you know who this man is.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I like the high jumper for some reason.
Same. I don't know. He looks lanky.
Yeah, absolutely looks long. Maybe it's because you just said Chris Bosh, but he does look tall.
He's got a long neck for sure. Yeah. JD, you wanna?
I feel like I would have recognized him. I watched a lot of Olympics.
Ooh.
That's true.
Ooh. Yeah.
But I could be wrong. I'm going model. This guy has a striking look to him, and he looks tall. I don't know. I'm only seeing him from the nipples up, but yeah, I'm going model.
And he's got an earring in his right ear. Maybe that's a model type of thing. Because I don't know if he has one on his left. I don't think so.
Tough to see.
Looks like a stud in the left and a hoop in the right.
Okay,
Unprecedented.
Okay, you guys are torn a little bit here, but the table was correct. He is an Olympic high jumper.
Okay,
Good job.
okay.
Shelby McEwen.
Shelby.
Good job, guys.
Yes.
An American.
I believe he's an American, yes.
he
And
do good?
is quite tall. What's that?
Did he do good?
I don't think he medaled, but I didn't do a deep dive on that, TK. We'll look that up after. All right.
Okay, 6'3" and a high jumper. Played basketball in college.
Oh,
Damn,
Okay.
it's gonna be good.
Potential MVP.
He's gonna
case
dunk
right
for
here.
sure, for sure. All right, our next celebrity is Oliver Stark. Ooh. All right, he is described as a British actor known for his dark appearance and brooding roles. That's what it said.
He's brooding a little here.
I think he's got like a little sort of bad boy Nick Lachey vibe to him. Got the cool arm tat there, you know. Anyway, I want to know.
Wouldn't say cool, but go
Okay.
on.
Yeah, it's a little Tom Gugliotta-like, isn't it? Okay, what ABC role is Oliver Stark best known for? I'm going to give you 3 options. Is he Buck in 911? Is he Captain Robert Macy in Dr. Odyssey? Or is he Tim Bradford in The Rookie? These are all hit ABC shows.
Oh, you know Stephen A. Smith's going to be making some brick comments, some jokes on the broadcast. Wow.
What are his shows?
911, Dr. Odyssey, or The Rookie?
And these are real shows.
Okay,
I did not make up any of these.
Rookie shot in Toronto, yes?
I
Maybe?
don't know. You can't ask me.
What was the
questions.
first name for the 911? that you
His
get?
name's Buck.
He doesn't look like a buck.
You don't think?
No, he doesn't want to go
Buck? Maybe as a nickname.
Not
Okay.
only were these all shows, actually shows on ABC, but they are real characters from each of these shows that
Okay.
I'm giving you. I didn't make up anything.
I've never heard of the middle. What was the middle show again?
Oh, Captain Robert Macy and Dr. Odyssey, of course.
Dr.
He doesn't look like a
Odyssey?
doctor to you?
Sure.
I'm in on Dr. Odyssey, actually. 1 vote for Dr. Odyssey.
Okay, put me down for Dr. Odyssey.
Okay, Tass, where you want to go?
Yeah, definitely.
No, guys, that's Buck.
Oh, damn it.
That's Buck from the hit show 911. Yeah.
Okay.
Got me.
Okay.
That got me. I
All right,
thought
our-
he was part of the Stark family. Blue boo.
Our next celebrity is Danny Ramirez. Okay, he's an American actor who, I gotta be honest, does look slightly familiar to me. Maybe he does to you guys as well. I want to know. No? What soon-to-release movie does Ramirez star in? Your 3 options. Captain America, Brave New World. Love Hurts, which is like that, it's coming out on Valentine's Day. I forget the guy's name, the lead guy.
He's from the Goonies.
Yes, what's the guy's
I don't
name?
remember his name
You know
either.
what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Sean Astin?
No.
No. He's like a hitman who has left the business.
He was in
and
Everything
they come
Everywhere
back
All
for
at
it.
Once.
Oh, yeah.
Love Hurts, or The Monkey. So Danny Ramirez is in one of these movies coming out. Captain America, Brave New World, Love Hurts, or the, I believe, Thriller, based probably on a Stephen King short, not play, story. The Monkey.
Oh.
I think it's creepy.
Stephen King, he's still in it, huh?
I guess so.
I didn't know that. Okay, well, I don't know Danny Ramirez,
me
but Captain America is a Marvel property, which is a Disney property, as is ESPN.
Oh, this is good thinking.
Synergy?
Trey.
Wow.
Yeah,
This is good thinking.
This is great
There's
thinking.
no way I've got a better argument than that. That sounds right. They tend to do that year to year as well.
Yeah.
right?
Sure, yeah.
Did Anthony Mackie ever play in this celebrity game?
We saw him at an
know.
All-Star Weekend once. I bet he did.
I
feel
probably
like he
did.
must have, but
Nice. That was a nice connection. I gotta go with
Okay,
that.
you guys
I
are
don't- I
going?
don't-
yeah.
Yeah.
Captain America,
Captain
Brave New
America.
World.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's correct.
Yes.
Good job, guys.
Nice.
Good job. Way to get that synergy there.
Really well done.
He's taking over a character, or like, I forget who. I don't know.
Oh,
Captain
he's
America.
a sub in for a character.
No, like
Well,
Well, sort of like Sam Wilson is for Captain America.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I think Danny Ramirez is taking over for another guy too.
Rip his arm off. He's gonna be the new Bucky Barnes.
And not Buck from 911. All right, next guy. Celebrity number 4. Tucker Halpern. Look at this guy.
Come on, man.
Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, this guy's 6'8", sweet shooting, Ivy League star at Brown University.
Okay.
This dude.
Wow.
This guy might get your MVP.
Yeah.
That's my pick.
Yeah.
So, Tucker is one half of what Grammy-nominated dance pop duo? I'm going to give you 3 names. Is he a part of Mother Tucker, The Knox, or Sophie Tucker?
I don't even know the words you just said.
Grammy-nominated dance pop duo.
Dance pop duo.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Sophie Tucker would be a.
That's a dance pop duo, Sophie Tucker.
I guess. Sophie's
Mother
a
Tucker,
half.
I mean, his
The
name
Knox,
is Tucker.
or Sophie Tucker.
Sophie/Tucker.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
What's the Game of Thrones actress's name? What is her name? Is she Sophie Tucker?
I don't.
Who played Sansa
Turner?
Stark?
Sophie Turner.
Sophie Turner.
Sophie Turner.
yeah.
Sophie Turner. Yeah.
You're throwing us off here, Trey. Like,
Hey, sorry, man. Sorry, I came through with the
you
Captain
did.
America big
100%.
time.
100%.
Okay, yeah, I
I'm trying to
think
think sideways.
So you
here.
guys have never seen this guy, never heard of this
Never heard of
guy?
these bands.
Okay.
I would have thought he's a UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's got
same.
the look. He's got a Sean
To
O'Malley
me,
look.
to me, he really looks like this guy's a TikTok influencer to me.
Also true.
Yeah.
Or an
But
Ed
he's
Hardy
not.
type of star.
He's a musician that used to hoop. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Does it all.
Yep.
Yeah, the names.
Okay, just make a pick here. Mother Tucker, the Knox, or Sophie Tucker?
I'm a Knox man.
Okay.
Yeah. Why would there be two with Tucker in there? That you
Yeah.
I think one. It has to be one. It has to be Mother Tucker or Sophie Tucker.
Oh, wow.
Pick one.
Sophie Tucker. Which is a
Okay,
weird
I'm
name.
going Knox.
Tasmellis Goddess.
Wow.
Sophie.
So his
to
other, I don't think they're together, but partner, musical partner at least, Sophie is her name.
Yeah.
And so she's the second half, and he does this Grammy-nominated dance pop
They're
duo.
the Christian and Scooby of
I guess so.
Grammy-nominated.
Mother
dance.
Tucker, I believe, is his Instagram handle.
Oh,
you
That's
did
why I
that.
was trying to get you on that.
Oh,
I think that's it.
I thought you were just coming up with another name.
Anyway, I can't wait to see him hoop.
these are hard.
There's a video of him like getting the call. He's like literally like almost in tears. Like,
Great.
this is like my dream. And I mean, I guess if you were a basketball player, why not? What's TK looking at?
I'm
over there?
just seeing what they're famous for. Of course, we all know their songs "Drinky," "Best Friend," and "Purple Hat."
Well, so her,
They played at Coachella.
are they singers or are they dancers?
They're
Like-
singers, like a
Oh, okay. I
dance
thought you said-
pop duo.
Oh,
They
dance
do-
pop,
they do
like
both.
Come on,
dance
man,
as
they're
in
not
music
dancing.
style. I see.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think they hand out a
don't know.
Grammy for, hey, that guy's a good dancer.
I know. That's why I was confused.
Okay.
Yeah, Sophie didn't expect the spelling of either.
Definitely
It's
not.
I know.
SOFI and
Yeah.
then TUKKER.
Yeah.
Weird. Crazy, man.
All right. Final one. Celebrity number 5. Mickey Guyton. There she is. Beautiful woman. American country music artist. She's playing in this game.
Yeah.
Here's
She was
the-
like New Year's
So you
Eve.
guys, yeah, you guys recognize her.
I'm a fan.
You're a fan.
I'm a fan.
Okay, you should get this.
I won't get it, but I'm a fan.
Okay.
We talked about her yesterday because she sang at the NBA Cup in Las Vegas. She sang the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, that was
when
her.
we were there. Yeah.
Okay. According to her Spotify page, what's Mickey's most streamed song on the platform? Your 3 options: "Christmas Isn't Christmas" featuring Michael Bolton, a song called "Lay It On Me," or a song called "Something About You." Mickey Guyton's #1 song on Spotify.
Come on.
And then I asked the hard-hitting questions.
JD, you're the big fan.
Yeah, you're the fan, so you just pick, JD.
Okay, my gut is says Bolton Christmas.
Yeah, right.
Seasonal.
Because like, yeah, exactly. Just
Recent? Yeah.
Bolton, big name.
Yeah, we're coming off the Christmas season.
Sure.
It's, she's just had it on repeat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have no idea, but that's my gut.
Well, that's why I put it in there. Because I thought I'd get you with that.
You got me.
I got you. Something About You. 16 million plays.
Okay.
Lay It On Me. 15 million. So right behind it. I was listening to her music. Great voice. No
Oh,
doubt.
she's great.
Yeah.
She's great.
So there you go. Those are 5 celebrities that are playing in the celebrity game.
Can't wait. Absolutely cannot wait. Mickey Guyton can hoop. Everybody knows. Daughter of AJ Guyton, former Chicago Bull.
Is there anyone else you're excited about to see in this game? We got Bailey
Hold on,
from
is
the
she-
wrestling world. Yeah.
She's probably not the daughter of AJ Guy.
Probably not.
But I just wanted to confirm. Who else we got?
Oh, you got Kai Cenat. I guess he's playing. Drewski.
I see a lot of Kai Cenat
Yeah, he's everywhere.
in my For You page. He's always there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will he be streaming during the game? Maybe.
You would think so.
Yeah.
You would think so. All right, thanks for playing. Let's get to the pick'em game for tonight. Who do we got, Taz? Where are we going?
We're going to Sacramento. Zach LaVine probably making his Sacramento
Oh.
Kings debut. Most likely, they're hosting the Orlando Magic, who are struggling right now on this road trip.
Yep.
Sacramento's here by 5.5, and so they're playing a lot better than the Orlando Magic. So I guess that's why the first 3 picks in the Google Doc today were all Kings, Kings, Kings.
Yeah.
That forced Esh to take the Orlando Magic because we just never let someone pick the same as the other 3.
But that has worked out extremely well.
Yes.
Good point.
For the person that's been forced to swerve. Like,
Yeah.
if you go back and look, it hits more times than not.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, I flash back to December when it happened for Trey, and that basically turned it so I would
Yep,
lose.
yep, that's true.
Yep. Anyway, 5.5. We got to win by 6. Taking the Kings. Ash just has to cover those 5 points for the Land of Magic, who again, man, they just ain't right.
No.
And they played last
But
night,
you did
obviously.
say Paolo always has a bad game, then he has a good game. Bad game, good game. Bad game, good game.
That's what I did say. Yeah. Yeah, but that didn't happen after last night.
They played last
they're
night?
right. They're fine. No. Excuse me. 2 nights ago.
He's been struggling a
Yeah.
little bit.
He has
I think he's been a bit of a Julius Randle out there.
I'm definitely going with
Pounding
a
the ball.
Zach LaVine like the beam situation tonight.
Sack LaBeam.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it'll be exciting. This will either be like the Kings win 140-99 or the Magic win by 3.
Yeah. Yep, you're right. How it goes. Okay, let's call it there. Fun show. A trade breaking as we're
exciting.
live on the air.
Two
Kuzma.
trades, man. Don't sleep on KJ Martin.
Oh, yes.
Don't
right.
forget about KJ Martin.
I already forget where he went. To the Pistons, he did.
That's right.
KJ Martin to the Pistons, Kyle Kuzma to the Bucks, Middleton to the Wizards. Those were the breaking trades during this show. Talked a lot about the Kevin Durant, the Jimmy Butler situation. Are they intertwined? Are they separate? Is KD going to the Warriors? Is Butler going to the Suns? We just wait for the deadline to hit tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. Again, NBA Daily live at 7:30 in the morning. They're going to go all day, guests stopping in throughout the day, including us. We'll be here. The plan right now, outside of an emergency podcast tonight, we'll be here at 10 a.m. Eastern to get you ready. We'll talk about last night's games and obviously the latest trade slop. And then we'll come back on the air around 2 p.m. Eastern to take us through to the deadline and probably go on for an hour, 90 minutes or something like that. So that's the plan for tomorrow. So we'll be here in the Classic Factory. That means we're getting Chick-fil-A tomorrow. Right.
Excellent.
Hell yeah.
Love to hear that. We'll also be making some appearances on the NBA Dailies.
That's right.
Stream in between. I think I'm scheduled to go right after Benson Boone. That's who it said on that Coachella flyer that we saw.
That's a tough follow, man.
I know.
Can you do a flip off this table for Andrew Schlecht?
It's a little short, but I can
Yeah.
adjust my crotch. No problem.
Yeah. You probably have an outfit like that too, somewhere in your closet.
A tearaway tuxedo?
Well, no, the sequined jumper.
Oh, yeah, that I have.
Yeah,
of course,
Okay. So we will see you tomorrow. Hit the like button, subscribe. Consider leaving your boys a 5-star rating and review. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, trade deadline is 28 hours away. Maybe we'll just stay live for 28
Want
hours.
to keep it rolling?
What do you guys-
JD, what do you think? Just keep it rolling. Just stay here.
Sure, you guys can stay. I'm gonna go play pickleball tonight.
Are you? Okay.
You streaming?
Yeah, I'm gonna stream me playing pickleball.
Yeah, we should come sit courtside, keep doing the show.
Yeah.
We could talk about you playing.
Sure.
Keep our eye on the breaking news. Yeah. It's a possibility.
Any trades on the pickleball court?
Yeah. I think that's why you have to hit that little notification bell for No Dunks on YouTube, because you never know when we're going to go live. You never know. All right. Until we see you next time, brace the day, people.